back. As usual, let me just check that this is live in the right places. You can find me in the Happy Side Hustle community free group. You can find me on the Julie Begbie Side Hustle Coach business page, and also live on YouTube on the Happy Side Hustle channel. I hope. Let me know if you have. Oh, 2 people find me. Let me know if you're watching me live. So I can just check that I am in the right place and it's all still working. I had to wind everything back up again because it's all been off with the power off. Hi, Sheila, for the last couple of weeks. So yes, this feels weird. I had a meeting for my day job this afternoon and I couldn't get anything to work right and I couldn't find my notebook. And I couldn't get a pen. I still can't find my notebook. I felt that it was right here when I left. Anyway, hi Dee. Hi Sheila. Hi Karen. You know the score. Those of you that have been around for a while. There's a couple of people here saying hi. That it would be fab if you clicked the StreamYard link. All that does is it shows me your name. So I can see that Sheila's here. I can see that Karen's here. I can see that Phoebe's here. Thank you, Phoebe. I can see that Gina's here. Hi, Gina. If you have commented and I haven't just read out your name, it is because I can't see it. So if you click on the StreamYard link, I should be able to see your name so we can have a chat and I cannot be rude. So how is everyone? How was the rest of your June? At one point I thought I might pop in every day and do some sort of like side hustle lesson, but the holiday was so full on that I just didn't have time. So that's why I'm here tonight going, I'm going to tell you because there were side hustle lessons definitely when I was away. And I thought, I'll just put it in all in one little class and I will share them with you tonight. Hi, Karen. Oh, great to see you. Yeah, it was so good. I cannot tell you. So for those of you that have been in my world for a while, you've been hearing about this holiday forever. So this is the holiday. I never point in the right direction yet. I really should. It really feels counterintuitive to point that way. But this picture behind me with the palm trees, that is a picture of California. And I have had that picture on my wall for years now, probably 5 years, maybe. So as you know, I love Disney World. I love going to Disney World. I love Disneyland Paris. But I have always wanted to go to Disneyland in California because that is where Walt actually lived. So he had his apartment there. He was alive for the launch of Disneyland. He wasn't, unfortunately, he died before Disney World actually opened. So it's the real, it's the first park. It's the real kind of just the original. It's the original Disney. And because of that, I'm really into the magic and the energy, and because of that I just knew it was going to feel magical, and boy did it. It was just incredible. Anyway, so as much as I have been going to Florida, obviously didn't go anywhere during the pandemic abroad, but before that I've been going to Florida every year and I do love it. I absolutely love it. And just because I've been to California doesn't mean that I won't go to Florida again. I will, because I love it. But this big trip to California has been on my vision board and literally on my wall in a massive picture for years now, because we wanted to do it as our last sort of big family holiday. Now, I hope it isn't our last big family holiday, but you've got to be realistic when your sons are adults now. So when we were away, my youngest son Finn turned 18 when we were away. It was so special. But my eldest son's 19 now, and we were planning to do this California trip last year. So just before my eldest son went to uni. Obviously, COVID and all put paid to that. But we have done it this year before my youngest son goes to uni next year. And from then on, really don't know whether they will want to it's not even that they will want to come away with us, because I would hope that they would. But do you know, when you're just, I remember that age, you're an adult, you have your own life, you maybe start to work somewhere, you've got a couple of weeks holiday a year, you maybe don't want to spend it with your parents, you maybe want to go away with your friends, etc. And you maybe can't afford to do all of the things. So we wanted to have this big kind of final family holiday, and that is what we just did. And it was expensive, but it was guilt-free because it was paid for by my side hustles. This is the whole reason that I do this, and the whole kind of energy around Happy Side Hustle is, it was definitely like, if I did not have a side hustle and I was funding that out of my day job, my husband's day job, I would have felt guilty about the amount of money we spent on that holiday. That would have felt like a guilt to me, and it shouldn't. And I'm not saying that you should feel guilty about taking that sort of money out of your day job stuff, but I love the fact that my day job money is used for the bills and the mortgage and Christmas and just all of the things that kind of have to happen in life. And my side hustle money is this extra from both my side hustles. It's just this extra money that there's just no guilt around. That's probably the easiest way to describe it, because when you are going anywhere, and I think, I mean, the prices everywhere have gone up. But I went to Vegas 21, 22 years ago. It's a long time ago, and it was cheap. Like, I mean, there was expensive places, but we stayed in a cheap casino. We definitely stayed in a cheap casino. We didn't do that this time. We went to the all-you-can-eat buffets, and they were like, I don't know, I think some of them were free if you gambled. I can't even remember, but they were dirt cheap. Like, it was really difficult to spend money in Vegas. That is not the case now. Not the case now. And not the case anywhere that we went. So we went to Vegas, we went to downtown Los Angeles, and we went to Anaheim, which is where Disneyland is. And every time we went for dinner, because it's for adults, and obviously we're paying for the kids still, we're dropping, I don't know, at least £100 a time, a meal. So it got to the point where we were like, can we find, like, even if we were finding Subway, we're like, oh, it's still, but because I had budgeted for that, and because it was extra money, I haven't come back thinking, oh my goodness, I can't believe what I spent. I've come back thinking that was just the most magical holiday everywhere. Let me just see your comments. Hi, Kirstine. You're back from festival, and yeah, your photos were amazing. It looked like you had an absolute ball. Survived your first day back in the day job after 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but I am struggling. Like, so I haven't been really present. For those of you in the Hive, I haven't been present over the weekend. I know lots of you were doing lives, and I am going to go back and watch them. I've just got, like, my energy is wiped, and to the point where today I did a COVID test because I thought, first of all, I thought, well, this is just jet lag, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. My glands are sore. I'm still really feeling mega low in energy. Yeah, and it's Monday. Like, we got back on Thursday. So I don't know. I hope it is just jet lag. I mean, I'm functioning, but I need to go out and deliver a training on Thursday, like a live training for a company. And I haven't done that for ages. And I'm like just a bit stressed that I'm maybe going to test positive for COVID. Anyway, we'll find it. Yes, Tracy, I can see you now. Thank you for clicking on that link. And Snoopyland. Yes, I'll tell you all about it. I'll have great big family holidays again when we get grandchildren. Yeah, I hope so, Karen. I hope so. Yeah, so that needs to go in probably on the vision board. Hopefully not too soon. Oh, thanks, Anne. You're showing nice, Stella. Thank you. So if you have just commented, thank you for that lovely comment. And if you just said hi, everyone, if you wouldn't mind clicking on the StreamYard link, that would be amazing. Somebody else up here has said hi as well. If I haven't called out your name, It is because I can't see it. If you click on the streamer link, it should show me your name, and then we can chat. So yeah, I've got some lessons to share, but I just thought I would give you an overview first. It was just incredible. Slight flight delay on the way out didn't spoil things at all. In fact, it worked perfectly because, yeah, this is one of the key things, isn't it? You have to just like respond to your circumstances and look for the good in it. So we did have a flight delay on the way out. It was a few hours. Um, in fact, we had quite a long delay because we were supposed to be flying down to London in about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They were supposed to be flying out about 5 o'clock. And we ended up having, so BA cancelled the flight, but way in advance, the first flight. So we had to go down, be in London for like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then our flight got delayed to about 8 o'clock. So we had quite a long time in Heathrow. But we paid for a lovely lounge, and it was all like free food and drink, and there was a cinema room and all in it, so it wasn't awful. And you're dead excited on the way out. So there was nothing like that, wasn't bothering me. But anyway, because the flight to Las Vegas, we flew directly to Vegas, and then we flew from Vegas across to LA later in the holiday. So because the flight to Vegas was delayed, I had read that the airport in Vegas is like really full on, like just really busy. All the hotels are really busy checking in. But by the time our flight landed, all the other flights were gone and cleared. So the airport was really empty. And then when we got to the hotel, oh yeah. So what happened was we got off the flight, and I had organized, without telling the family, I had organized for this limo to come and pick us up and take us to the airport. And I had just said, so my husband asked what we were doing. I'm just like, oh, we'll just get a taxi at the airport. So we were walking out of the baggage bit, and one of my sons said, wouldn't it be amazing if we walked out here and someone was standing with a card with our name on it, and there was like a limo? And I went, oh, that would be amazing. And we walked out, and because the airport was really empty, there was just one man in a suit and a hat, like a proper chauffeur, standing with a sign with our name on it. And the kids are like, what's going on? And he went, oh, let me take your cases. Took us outside in the car. And I had asked for a limo, but this was like, I don't know if you saw the picture. It was a Hummer, but it was like a party Hummer. There'll be a term for it. I think it could probably fit 25 people. Like there wasn't a seatbelt in sight. It was just like long leather sofas nearly, like inside this car. And it had a big massive like center with a champagne bucket and glasses, and it had a gun where you could fire toy money at each other, and like an iPad where you could put on music. So the kids had this kind of bouncing music on, like party music. And he took us out, and he took us to a liquor store. Love the American terms, a liquor store. Which was right beside the airport, and he said, I'm stopping here so that you can get some champagne for the journey, but also just so you know, when you buy anything on the strip, it's going to be like twice as expensive. So if you want anything, just get it in this liquor store. So we came out with like beer and we didn't get champagne, we got sparkling wine or whatever. And then he took us to the Las Vegas sign so we could take our pictures at the Las Vegas sign. He stopped off and we went out and we stood in the queue and took pictures at the Las Vegas sign. And then he took us to our hotel. So by the time we got to our hotel, it was like 3-4 hours later than we should have been there. And there were still maybe 6 or 7 people in the queue in front of us to check in. But when I got to the front of the queue, and by this point, like everybody's tired, although we're in the casino. So we're staying in Hotel New York, which is just amazing. Like I absolutely loved it. It was perfect. We were having this conversation with our friends on Saturday night. It was perfect for us because when we first went to Las Vegas years and years ago, 21 years ago, we did a Keone trip. Right. So it was back in the day where you didn't book anything yourself, and there weren't online there wasn't online. Like you booked it from the brochure. And the hotel was just set. So we did, at that time, we did San Francisco, and we did Las Vegas, LA, and we did San Diego, which was an amazing trip as well. But the hotels were all pre-selected for you anyway. So the hotel that we stayed in last time was called the Stratosphere. They've renamed it the Strat now. Now, with hindsight, like 21 years ago, we were really impressed with that. With hindsight now, like In fact, they've done a lot to it. So it's actually a nice casino, but it's at the wrong end of the strip. Like it's at the real dodgy end. Anyway, so we're in so we're like Hotel New York. New York was just perfect because obviously it's themed in New York. We've never been to New York yet. My husband has, but the rest of us haven't been. But it had like it's got an Irish pub in it. Like it's got a street. Oh, I should have taken more photos of it. But it's got like a street or two or three streets within inside the hotel that have New York shops, and it's got like hot dog thing, and it's got like a dueling piano bar, and oh, it's just amazing, just amazing, the atmosphere. There's a big massive bar right in the middle of the casino. And on night one, we were like, for the first couple of nights, we're like, well, we're not going to gamble because we're not real gamblers. For the last 2 nights, we were just like at that bar all night getting our drinks, comped and gambling. It was the kids couldn't because they had to be 21, which was unfortunate for them. But we just had the best time. Anyway, back to the story. So I am standing waiting to check in, and eventually I get to the front, and even the hotel staff are tired at this point, and the check-in reception person said to me, okay, sorry, I'm just going to need to phone the duty manager. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't really understand what. And anyway, she's having this conversation. She's going, right, okay, well, what room will I give her? What room will I give her? So she comes back to me and she says, look, unfortunately, and I'm like, oh no, what is she going to say? She goes, because you're checking in so late, we've released your room. So we weren't sure that you were going to arrive. So we've released the room that you booked. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she went, so we're going to give you a different room. And she said to me, I'm going to show you this laminate chart. She said, because it is an upgrade. And I'm like, oh, well, that's amazing. Now we had just booked the cheapest room, like 2 beds in a box room. And she said, I'm showing you the laminate because she said, normally when I upgrade people, it's like to the next level, but that's not what I'm going to do for you. So I want to show you how much of an upgrade I've given you. So she's like, here's a room, here's a room, here's a room, here's a room, here's a room. And here's the one I've upgraded you to. Now the kids and Neil are over at the other side of the casino kind of looking around, so they can't see any of this. And I'm just going, now I've heard about, you've probably heard this, the Vegas trick where you put like either $20 or $50 inside your passport when you're checking in, and you say, are there any upgrades available? And then they take the money and they give you an upgrade. And I didn't do that because I thought, what if that's not well, that would just be really embarrassing if they gave it back to me and went, no. So I didn't do it, but I visualized an upgrade. Boy, did I visualize an upgrade. Anyway, she shows me the picture of this. So it was called a something spa, a corner spa suite. And I'm looking, I can't even quite believe it. So I give her, how much did I give her? I think it was $20. I can't remember, maybe I give her $30. I just went, thanks, have this as a tip. The tipping started off really awkwardly because we're not used to tipping in the UK, are we? By the end of it, I'm just like, I'll come back to that. I love to tip in. It's brilliant. It's such a nice thing to do. Anyway, so I went over to my husband and the boys, and they're tired at this point. I said, I've got some bad news. They've given the room away. And they're just like, what? What time is it? I went, so they've given us this alternative room. We'll have to go up and have a look at it. So they're like, right, okay. We opened the door. You should have seen it. You should have seen it. It was just like a massive, like it had its own living room and dining room. And the jacuzzi right in the middle of the room was like, it would have taken, I don't know, 10 people, 12 people, something like that. It was just, I mean, just what a start. So the limo right through to the walking into to that room was just incredible. Sorry, let me just go back to your comments. Hi Stella. So sorry, I don't know who that is. Hello, lovely to see you too. But click on StreamYard, see if click on StreamYard works for you, sorry. So whoever just said there's my name displaying now. It isn't. Sometimes StreamYard can be glitchy. So if you're whoever just picked that, if you're commenting again, just stick your name at the end of it, and then I will know. Jilly, what are you doing? Are you not in Norway? Talk to me. Are you not in Norway? Was it not today you were going? Talk to me. Oh, did it? Oh, hi, Ruth. Oh, lovely to see you, Ruth. Yeah, just, I mean, completely unexpected and just like the perfect start. So hold on, let me actually just show you because I've done a little presentation for this. Look at me being all fancy. Now I'm back from my holiday. So 5 side hustle lessons. So yeah, this is what just going to put that while I was talking to you. But the first one is there is the spa suite. Can you see it? There is the spa suite. Well, that's the spa part of the spa suite. I have been visualizing that. Like I have been visualizing this not just being a holiday, but just being my dream trip, my absolute dream trip. And just imagining all the details and most importantly, how I'm going to feel. And can you imagine when I got off that flight and I got into that party limo and the music was absolutely like just blaring out. The kids are just like can't even comprehend it. And then we walk in and we get that spa suite. Like, could life be any better? Like, just, just incredibly amazing. So my first lesson, my first tip for you is like dream big, like dream absolutely massively, like whatever you want in your vision board. You can make a tiny thing happen or you can make a massive thing happen. So don't limit yourself. Like, don't go for a tiny thing if that's not what you want. If you don't want a spa suite in Vegas with a Hummer, that's not your dream, and it doesn't have to be. But it's just as easy to dream about something incredible as it is to dream about something that's just good. Like, ta-da! I want you to I want you to really motivate yourself, but really tap into the energy of that thing that you really, really, really want. Because this is what I did. And I promise you, it worked. Like it worked absolutely big time. Um, oh, thanks, Anne. You've got yourself 2 jobs, right? I'll come back to that. Hi, Naomi. Oh, thanks. Yeah, just put your name in. That's brilliant. Thanks, Naomi. Oh, Julie Yaraway. Just back to your room and I go, oh, thanks for tuning in on your holiday. You do not need to do this. Jilly is also on her dream holiday for those of you that don't know. And Jilly is on day 1 of a 3-week dream holiday. So, Jilly, I hope it has started off absolutely amazing. My goodness, do you deserve it? Like, oh. Rachel Duke, brilliant. Yeah, just pop your name on, Rachel. Sometimes the StreamYard thing works and sometimes it takes to the next time for it to work. So thanks for trying to do that. My dream is big mountains, big open spaces, and big fjords. And here I am. That's so peaceful, Jilly. Do you know, I mean, it's such a different energy from my trip, but I think I probably said to you that I went on a Norwegian cruise just before COVID. Yeah. And it's breathtaking. Like the fjords are breathtaking. Like it is the most peaceful, serene. Like the energy there is just be absolutely beautiful. It's exactly what you need, actually. That'll be, yeah, how lovely. Okay, so lesson 1, dream big, like visualize spending that pot exactly as you would want it, the way that Jilly has done, the way that I have done. Get it on your wall, like get it big. Oh, hi, Embo. You're just tuning in to hear about my holiday, aren't you? Embo's my cousin. Can't point, but get it big. Right, that picture behind me, that is my massive, massive vision board. Like, make your vision board somewhere where you see it all the time. Make your vision board something that you can't miss, that you're looking at, that you're feeling the energy of. Okay, dream big. Okay. The second lesson is the secret of Pandora. Now, I'm going to just go back to me for a minute because I want to show you my Pandora bracelet. Now, as you know, one of my side hustles is making jewelry. So you would think that I wouldn't be into, thanks, Embo. In fact, yeah, so I was Jilly. I was just talking about doing a Norwegian cruise, and it was with Embo, who's just commented below. I didn't know she was on. Wasn't it amazing, Embo? She is called Emma. I call her Embo. Jilly is in Norway. Emma, how incredible was Norway? It was really incredible. Anyway, so Pandora. Now, I make jewelry. You would think I wouldn't be into wearing a Pandora bracelet. Like, why should I? I make bracelets. I should be draped in my own jewelry to be a great advocate for my brand. However, I absolutely love Pandora because it is not about the shape of the bracelet. It is not about the color of the bracelet. It is not about the price of the bracelet. It is about the fact that Pandora very, very, very cleverly, I'm going to try and take it off actually so I can show you, capture memories for you. Now, for me, jewelry, and as you know, with the jewelry range that I do, it's more than just jewelry. It is, for mine, it's appreciation. So it's like more than just jewelry. But for Pandora, this is going to be hard to see because of the lights, but this Pandora bracelet I got, it's not in focus, is it? I got this for my 40th birthday. And I bought it, my husband and my kids bought it for me in Disney Park. So this was bought in Magic Kingdom in Florida, this bracelet. And then onto that bracelet, I put this charm, which says, it says be magical. In this light, I need better glasses. I got that little kind of dangling Mickey, and I got that one that says a dream is a wish your heart makes, that heart as well. And that was my present for my 40th birthday. I am now 54. I have to think about that. 54. And I have worn this every day for 14 years without any kind of tarnishing. Like they clean them for free in Pandora shops, which is a really nice touch as well. But it is the most special piece of jewelry I have because it has those memories. So I have added to it over the years. Then when I went back to Florida in, what's the date on this one? 2018. So this one is Disney exclusive Park Charm 2018, that blue one. I know it's hard to see. The purple one is from Disneyland Paris. I got that on my 50th birthday when I woke up in Disneyland Paris. And then I have added to it on this trip with 3 additional charms. So what Pandora do is they do exclusive charms for particular areas. So this one here is an exclusive Vegas charm. You probably won't be able to see it particularly well, but it says on the front, on the back, it says, in fact, I definitely need my stronger glasses on. No, it says no place like, and on the front it says Vegas. This one, this bead, is the exclusive Disney Parks bead for this year that I bought right within the center of Disneyland. And then this one is, so I then went to, there's a lot to tell you, but I will need to paraphrase it. I went to, so I left, so let me just finish with Vegas. We bought this card called a Go City card, which just got you free into like so many different attractions. So we spent our days just going from attraction to attraction. It's got us free into all these shows. We went to see the Beatles Cirque du Soleil show that's called Love. We went to see kind of legends, like divas, like singing kind of act in a proper cabaret theatre. We went to see like a guy who did mind games, a really famous guy who's been doing them like way before like David Blaine and you know, all of those kind of more recent Dynamo and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we just really packed out Vegas, and then the last couple of nights we were gambling, which was we only gambled a tiny amount. We're not gamblers, but It was just so much fun, like so much adrenaline. I can see why people would just go and like take hundreds of pounds and blow it because it was so good. Anyway, then we flew to LA. We stayed in a hotel that's right opposite Universal Hollywood Studios. And the great thing about, so I love Disney, but I also love Universal. I love a theme park, really. And Universal LA is an actual working studio. So having been to Universal in Florida many times and loving it, Universal in LA was just incredible because they're taking you around the sets of actual working studios, if that's makes sense. So they were telling you what things were recording there. Hold on, my chair's hold on one second. My chair's broken. But then we went to, we had a Go City card there as well, and we got the hop on, hop off bus, and we did the tour of LA, like downtown LA, right up into Beverly Hills. And what a difference between like downtown LA is about, like especially around the Chinese theatre and the Hollywood Walk of Fame and stuff. It's all a bit grotty, but as soon as you go up into Beverly Hills, it's amazing. And then got a different bus tour up into Santa Monica. The kids really want to go to Santa Monica. This is bad, but the kids really want to go to Santa Monica because it's a really key part of a game that they play, a computer game that they play. So they knew all about it because they play this game a lot. And so they were like, oh, Santa Monica Pier's here, and that's where the Ferris wheel is, and that's where the police station is, and that's where the and when we're doing the tour, they're like, oh my goodness, and like they're so excited because they're going, oh, that police station is not really a police station, it's something else. Anyway, we spent the evening in Santa Monica because it was so beautiful. Now Santa Monica is like the bit of it, I know it's sort of a suburb of LA, I think, but it's the part of LA that you would want to stay in. And in fact, my friend Susan's over there at the moment, so I can't wait to see her photos. She's staying there for a couple of weeks, but just fantastic. Anyway, so when I was in Santa Monica, I thought, well, I've got a Pandora charm for my Vegas part of the trip. I am going to get the Disney Park charm for the Anaheim part of the trip, but we're on this kind of interim bit where we're in LA. So I went into the Pandora shop in Santa Monica and I said, do you have any just like California exclusive charms? And she showed me one, but it was quite tacky. I'm like, I don't really like it. And she said, well, we can just make one for you. And I said, oh, well, like, how would you do that? And she said, well, you choose a shape. Now, this is like, ironically, I could have made this myself, right? Because I make jewelry, but it wouldn't have been the same because I got it in a Pandora shop in Santa Monica. And what they did was so I said, oh, I don't know what I would put on it. And she said, well, what about, so again, I don't know if you can really see this, probably not. So it's a heart with a little disc behind it, silver disc behind it. And on the silver disc, they've got this engraving machine in the shop, and she engraved Cali on the front, and she engraved 2022 on the back. So this Pandora bracelet is made up of memories. So it's more than charms. And it was to the point where I didn't even say to her, when she told me she could do this, I didn't say to her, how much is that going to cost? I just went, well, I have to have that. Like when they told me about the Vegas exclusive charm and they went to get it from the back, I'm like, well, I'll just have to buy it. And they went, should we just clean your bracelet and put it on while we're there? Like, it didn't even occur to me. So I'm looking down because I'm just trying to put my bracelet back on again. It's a bit of faff. It didn't even occur to me to ask the price. Now, if we think about a side hustle lesson here, how amazing would it be if people weren't even asking the price for the thing that you wanted to sell? Like, you want to sell that thing that links in with memories. Let me just pop this back up. So you're capturing a moment. The reason I love this Pandora bracelet, the reason I will wear it forever, and the reason that I will keep adding to it is each of those things on my Pandora bracelet is a memory. It's something that's just like, I can look at that and go, I can feel the energy of it. I can feel the energy of that place in that particular bead. So if you are an artist and you're drawing things or painting things, like, make them things from a particular place. So if you can do a beautiful seascape, that's going to be lovely. But if you can do a beautiful seascape of North Berwick or a beautiful seascape of the Isle of Harris, to give examples of, I know what people do in here, that is going to mean so much more to people because they want to capture that holiday or that dream that they've got. You know, that like the photo that I've got behind me of California, that isn't a photo that I took. That's a photo that I bought because I wanted to go. But I wouldn't have bought that photo because it's lovely palm trees. I bought that photo because it's California. And it really, I know you can't see it all, but it really looks like you look at it and go, well, that's California. Like, so that's why I wanted. So I paid money for that picture because it's California, not because it's trees, palm trees. Does that make sense? So I want you to think about, so the first two lessons, I want you to think about, for the last one, visualize your spending pot. So dream big. But for the second one, I want you to think about, for your particular side hustle, how can you capture a memory, a moment? How can you link whatever it is you do to something that's really important to your ideal customer? Because Pandora have cornered that. There's a Pandora everywhere now, like everywhere. When I came back, I think there's another couple of Pandoras that have opened up in Edinburgh. They're just like every single place that we went to in America had a Pandora, even to the point where when we were going to the airport, the other side, there's a Pandora at the airport, just in case you haven't managed to get your Pandora stuff in before you've made it to the airport. And there's nothing really special about Pandora in terms of their jewelry. It's not like the most amazing jewelry in the world, but what it is they're just brilliant at that secret sauce, at capturing a memory. Let me just have a look. It always used to be charm bracelets, Sheila. That's right. Yeah, I loved charm bracelets when I was young. Yeah, you love a good gamble. Yeah, we used to be a croupier, didn't you, Dee? Yes, you are, Claire. Okay, so lesson one is dream big. Get your massive picture of what it is you want to achieve with your side hustle and make it happen. Lesson two is think of how you link stuff. So how do you link something to something that's really important? So how can you take your side hustle and link it the way Pandora do so brilliantly? The third one, I said I was going to come back to this earlier. When we were gambling, so on the second last night, we went down to the bar and we thought we'll just play the poker machines at the bar, just like the tellies that are kind of built into the bar, right, all around the bar. And we'll just do like, we'll just take $5 each and we'll just have a go at them. I quite like playing poker, but we'd be intimidated playing poker or blackjack at one of the tables because I don't totally know what I'm doing. I sort of know, but like I've never anyway. So we thought, well, we'll just play on these machines and that'll be a good laugh and we'll just have a couple of drinks. The kids were upstairs in our corner suite. Like they'd brought the Fire Stick and they were watching some movie in the living room area of our room and they were quite happy. The challenge with Vegas for under 21s is that they weren't even allowed like in the bar. So they couldn't go into the bar and have a soft drink. They just weren't allowed in. Like all the bars were nearly roped off. And if you went up the steps into the bar, you had to have ID to show you were over 21. So we didn't realize that at the beginning. At one point, we'd gone into this bar and we just kind of sat in these sofas at the side. And it was through the day. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. And we literally just wanted soft drinks because it was hot, like Vegas was hot. And they asked for ID for the kids. And we were like, well, they're not 21, but we're just ordering sodas. But they said, no, they have to get out. Like they weren't. So anyway, when we at the end, when we were all talking about which place we loved most, like I did love them all, but I think Vegas might have been my favorite, which wasn't what I expected. But the kids were like, yeah, Vegas was great, but in fact, I'm just going to take a drink of water. I've got to show you this. Look at this. You had me at Disneyland Resort. Fabulous water bottle. To go along with my Happy Side Hustle one, obviously not to replace it. Anyway. So on the second last night, we went to gamble at these machines and have a couple of drinks. And we had our first drink, we paid for it. And then we ordered another drink, and the barman said, "That's fine, they're on the house because you're gambling." And we're like, "Oh." Now, the woman in the liquor store had said to us, "If you haven't been here for 21 years, you'll notice a big difference in the amount of free drinks you get." So, like last time when we were in Vegas, basically, even if you were putting money into the slot machines or whatever, they'd be coming around going, "Can I get you a free drink? Can I get you a free drink?" But now they were telling us like there's a thing on all the machines and all the and on the tables, so keep an eye on it to see how much you're spending, and they'll only kind of give you free drinks if you spend a certain amount. Anyway, so we got this free drink, and we were like, "Oh, right, okay." So then we ordered. So we finished that. We ordered another drink, and it was free again. Now you obviously have to put a tip in the jar for the barman. But we had no idea like how much we needed to spend or how long the free drinks were, but they went on all night. We just had free drinks all night. And every time we got a free drink, we put like $2 in his jar. Now that probably wasn't enough. With hindsight, we probably should have done at least $5, because $2 isn't really that much in American money because of the exchange rate. But what was amazing was we basically, so the next night, so at the end of that night, the barman said to us, "That's because I was saying to Neil, I don't know, like there's still a jar here with receipts in it and tips. I don't know if he's going to total all that up at the end and ask us for the money." So when we were going up to bed, we said to him, "How much do we owe you?" And he went, "That's fine. You've been gambling. That's absolutely fine." And we were like, "Wow, we're coming back down tomorrow." So the next night we came back down and we were sitting there, and the barman said, if you put $20 into the machine, then I can comp all of your drinks. And we're like, "Oh my God, like, okay." So we had a lot of drinks. We thought, we'll see if this is really true. But we didn't pay for a single, and we literally, well, Neil put $20 into the machine and ended up taking the $20 back out because he won. I put $20 in and lost it. But still, we got all our drinks for like $20 between us. Anyway, the point is, tipping generally, if you've ever been to the United States, I know some of you here are American, you'll know that tipping is just very much part of the culture. You need to go with it. It's very rude not to kind of go over there and culturally, not tip an appropriate amount because of the way the servers are taxed, etc. So at the beginning, like I would always do it, but at the beginning, I felt it was quite awkward. I was like, "Oh, here's some money," and that terribly British way. But by the end of it, I just loved it. Like you were just kind of going around like a bit of a millionaire, going, "Here, have some money, have some money, have some, lift my bags, have some money. Thank you for serving me, have some money." And it just felt like it gave you that rich person's mindset, but also you just really felt like you were helping all the people around you. It's the energy of that giving, that kind of reciprocity. So every day we would leave a tip for the person that was coming in to service our room. And every time we came back, they would have done something amazing. They would have made like the towels into a swan, and they would have left. Like at one point, I asked if we could have some extra bottles of water. And I just left a $5 tip, so it wasn't a massive amount of money. And we came back and there was something like, I don't know, 25 bottles of water like crammed into the fridge. The kids were like, "What?" But it was so lovely because it's the law of reciprocity, isn't it? When you pay it forward, good things come back to you and good energy comes back to you and you just feel great about it. So again, in your side hustle, think about, what can you do to pay it forward? Could you give someone a free sample of whatever it is you do, of your product or your service? Can you give people a free gift when they engage with your side hustle? Is there something that you could do that would be of little cost to you, but of lovely value? So if you think about like general sales strategies, so I was delivering a course that had, so it was like an influence and skills course. It wasn't particularly a sales course, but this guy was on it and he sold golf equipment. So he used to go around all of the golf courses selling golf equipment. And he said what he would do is he would go into a golf course and he would say to them, "Listen, we've just brought out these new," whatever it was. I can't even remember the name of the range that he sold. It wasn't a particularly famous one. But he said he would always like leave them with samples. He would always say, "Listen, I've got some things for you here just to let you know." And he said when he did that and he left these gifts with these golf professionals, he would always get sales back because the law of reciprocity is just that kind of human need. If someone does something, if someone pays it forward for you, you want to repay them. You want to kind of pay them back. So I want you to think about in your side hustle, can you use the law of reciprocity? Is there a way in whatever it is that you do where you could give away something that makes it much more likely that the other person is going to actually buy your service or upgrade your service or whatever. So think about for you, what could that look like? And I miss it. I miss the tipping thing. Like we were out on Saturday, like I would always tip over here as well, but not like because there were four of us and you tip a percentage, so it's 18 to 20% on a, if you're going out for a meal or whatever. And because everything was so expensive, like we were leaving $40, $50 tips all the time. And it's just like, I'm giving that person $50. That's amazing. But there's just such a gratitude that goes with it. It's just so, so nice. So think about that law of reciprocity in your side hustle. How could you pay it forward? Because when you pay it forward, it benefits you as well. Lesson 4, something that I sort of knew, but hadn't really appreciated, I guess that's the best way to describe it, is that in Las Vegas, everybody smokes inside. And they don't just smoke cigarettes, they smoke cannabis. And people are just like, you just are so used to people not smoking inside that we're walking through these casinos and hotels and people are just like, so instead of there being smoking areas, even if you think about 10 years ago here where there might have been a smoking area, there were like occasionally a non-smoking area that was roped off, but the default was you could just smoke anywhere. So that was weird, but they've really handled it well because their air conditioning systems are amazing. I mean, all the casinos are set up so that you have no idea whether it's day or night or whatever, because they don't want you to be focused on going to bed. They want you to be staying up, drinking and gambling. That's obviously their focus. So their air conditioning systems, there's probably a better name for that, or however they deal with the kind of air, means that it doesn't smell of smoke at all. It's totally weird. You're seeing people smoking and you remember what a British pub used to be like. You used to go out to the pub and everyone's smoking, you'd come back, and even if you didn't smoke, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm stinking. I've been to the pub. You can tell someone had been to the pub. But it wasn't like that at all. However, it was quite like, I'm kind of going, like, I'm not delighted that there's loads of people smoking around me. So we went on I mentioned earlier, we went on the kind of hop on, hop off bus tour, which was part of the Go City card in Las Vegas as well. We did the one in Los Angeles, but we also did one in Las Vegas. And when we were going up the strip, the tour guide said, and that casino there is the only non-smoking casino in Vegas. And it immediately made me go, well, hold on a minute. We do really like our casino, but let's check that one out, because if we came back, I would probably want to go to the only non-smoking casino in Vegas because I don't really like being around the smell of smoke. The only one in Vegas. Now, isn't that interesting? So obviously the market is people that smoke and gamble and drink, right? And they want to be very kind of lenient and very, accommodating of that. But if you were going like us, because our plan was not to go to gamble. Our plan wasn't to go and drink an awful lot. It was more to see Vegas and experience the sights and the shows, etc. Being that one casino on the strip that is non-smoking, it's a secret sauce, isn't it? It's being aware that as much as the ideal customer that everybody else is targeting is the gamble, smoke, drink, there is another type of person that wants to come to Vegas, and they're probably all going to want to stay in that non-smoking casino. And what I did was yesterday when I was preparing this, I just Googled non-smoking casino in Vegas, and look what Google came up with. Look at all the searches that people are making looking for a non-smoking casino in Vegas. So again, I want you to think about, for your side hustle, how could you differentiate yourself? So how could you be the thing that you do, the thing that you create, the service that you provide, but how could you narrow it down to that one thing that no one else has really thought of, that one specific niche that nobody else is targeting? How could you really stand out and be known as the side hustle that caters for this? The non-smoking casino, I think it was Bally's, to my knowledge. I think it was Bally's. The non-smoking casino in Vegas has nailed it, have absolutely nailed it, because they're not catering for everyone. They're totally, totally clear on their ideal customer. And as much as I said, we would totally go back to the casino we were in because you couldn't smell the smoke, I would still be tempted to check out the price of the non-smoking one. Okay. Fifth and final lesson. When we were in LA, we went to Warner Brothers Studios. It was amazing. So we did the behind the scenes studio tour of Universal Hollywood, and that was great. And they were showing us some things that were filmed there. However, they were mostly American things that weren't. There were, to be fair, there were a few that were famous, but not as famous. So in fact, no, I'll take that back actually, because they had the street where Desperate Housewives was filmed. If you're familiar with that, if you watch Superstore, they had the kind of green area that the final of Superstore, the finale of Superstore, sorry, where they had the barbecue. They had the street, so they had quite a few kind of Western streets. There was something else big. Can't remember. Anyway, it was good and it was impressive. However, the Warner Brothers studio tour, like everything that was filmed there, was like totally up my street. So it was things like Gilmore Girls and The Good Place and Friends and Big Bang Theory and Hacks, which is just out at the moment that we're watching. What there was some really, really big things that were filmed there. Anyway, you go in this tour and they take you around the sets and they say, when we get to a sound stage and they're filming, I'm going to just kind of show you a wee sign and we're all going to be quiet because obviously any external noise can be an issue when they're filming. So we come round to this sound stage and they go round the sound stage. Now I absolutely love Big Bang Theory. Like it's just one of my favorite programs. So we go round the sound stage so it's called the Big Bang sound stage. Obviously it's not being filmed anymore. That one's done. And there's the Friends sound stage as well. And right beside the Big Bang sound stage is this sound stage that was empty. And they said, what we're going to do is we're going to let you get out and go into this sound stage. However, you must not take any photos, videos, anything, because this is sensitive. They're in the middle of filming. They're not in there at the moment, but they're in the middle of filming a new season of a program called Call Me Kat. Now, I hadn't heard of it. None of us had, like Neil hadn't heard of it, the kids hadn't heard of it. So we went in and we were like, oh, okay, well, this looks interesting. So they're showing us like the different sets and how they go. So it's about a quirky woman who lives in a flat apartment, American, has a cat cafe. And then there's another kind of scene where they do this sort of outdoor stuff. Anyway, they were showing us how it's all filmed and how you move from one scene to another and where the audience sit and how they get the actual audience laughter as opposed to canned laughter and how long you have to be there. Anyway, really interesting information. So we're asking the guy and he's like, I don't think it's on in the UK. I think it's just on America, but we're on the 3rd season now of this program called Call Me Kat. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, well, it doesn't sound all that interesting. And then he tells us that the star of it is, I can't pronounce her name, it's Marianne Ballam, something like that. But she is Amy in The Big Bang Theory, if anybody's watched The Big Bang Theory. So now I'm like, oh, okay, well, I really like Amy. So that's something that I would be interested in watching should it come over to the UK. And then they tell us that it is based on Miranda. So, like Miranda Hart, the Miranda, if you've ever watched Miranda's kind of comedy series here, and it's very much, talking to camera and then about her mom and her friends and whatever. So this is the American remake of Miranda with the girl that plays Amy in Big Bang as Kat, as the cat in Call Me Kat. And I went from having no interest in that whatsoever, looking at the scene and going, oh, if I saw this program on, I'd probably have a look at it because I can see how it's filmed, to finding out that the star is from the Big Bang Theory, which I love. So now I'm more interested, to finding out that it's based on Miranda, which I loved. I think Miranda's genius. I thought it was such a funny series. So I went from, like, I would have walked past a poster for that to now obsessively trying to find it, because I've seen behind the scenes. I've gone on the story. So they've told us about how the program came about. They've told us like how the first series didn't do particularly well, and then how it had this resurgence, and how they handled all the kind of social media around it, etc. So I really feel involved and kind of attached to this program. And since I've come back, I can't find it anywhere. I thought I would have been able to, I thought I would have been able to buy it on Amazon Prime, but it's not available. The kids were certain I would have been able to buy it on YouTube Premium. Can't buy it, can't get it anywhere. I think I need to work out a VPN and try and kind of stream it. It's available on Hulu in America, but obviously we don't have that here. It'll probably come here at some point. But every day I'm having a look to see where I can find that. And the reason that I'm telling you that is, it's because I've gone on the journey with the making of the program. So whenever you're thinking about your social media and you're thinking about what can I say that's going to be of interest to my ideal customer, take them on the journey with you. Like, show them you preparing for a coaching session with your client. Show them you getting the raw materials for that thing that you make. Show them you working out what insurance you need to hire the hall for the course that you're running. Like, whatever it is, but take people on that journey with you. So that when they see your end product, be it a product or a service, then they already have that attachment to it. They already feel involved. They already feel like part of the journey. You can get Hulu as an add-on to Prime Video. Can you? Okay. I am off to check that out right after this. When you said creepier, it came out in subtitles as creepy eye. Did it happen again? Creepier, probably my accent. The word reciprocity takes me back to my banking days and interbank ATM charges. Yes. Oh, black that out of your mind, Angela. Much better reciprocity. Oh, hi, Tracy. I love that you're here. You love my Warner Brothers game. Oh, it was so good. Like, here's where Gilmore Girls was. Here's the lift from the Big Bang Theory. Like, and the exciting thing is they're the actual sets, so when you if you watch Big Bang, when you sit in Sheldon's spot, that is actually where Jim Parsons sat when they filmed it. Oh, just so exciting. Just so exciting. Okay. And then the final thing. So those are the 5 lessons, but the final thing I wanted to say is I love Americans. Totally love Americans. But I love when you thank somebody American and the American person says back to you, of course. So you go, oh, thank you so much for that. And they go, of course. Like, that's such a lovely thing to say. I am going to start saying that. So when someone thanks me, I'm going to say, of course. I just love it. It's just such a really lovely thing to say. And it got me thinking about your words. So we've talked about this before. We've talked about, if someone gives you a compliment, what are your words? But I want you to think about, like, what do you do when someone thanks you? When someone really thanks you? Like, how do you respond to that? Because it's a slightly different take on it. And it made me realize when someone thanks me, I don't know if I really have a good response to that. I think I might thank them for thanking me. I don't know. I don't really know what I do. But Americans say, of course. Like, of course, it's my pleasure. Like, it's such a lovely thing to do. So from now on, you're going to hear me going, of course. And that's where it's come from because it's just so lovely. So I planned this for half an hour. I forgot about me. It has been an hour. Apologies for that. What action can you take? Here are the 5 lessons that occurred to me when I was away. First of all, dream big, right? If you haven't looked at your vision board for a while, relook at it. If you've never done a vision board, do one. Get a picture on your wall, get really, really clear. What do you want your side hustle pot to pay for? My side hustle pot paid for the most amazing trip. And Julie did an amazing live. Julie, it made me really emotional. It was the only thing I've watched actually, because I happened to catch you live a few days ago about her dream holiday as well. And if anybody deserves a dream holiday, it's Julie. She's absolutely incredible. And Julie was telling the story about how she was telling somebody else about me going on my dream holiday, and they had said, yeah, well, that's all right for her because she's like the person that runs it all, which made me kind of go, oh, imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh, like, do people think that I'm like important? I don't know. Anyway, but the really lovely point that Julie was making is she's having her dream holiday as well. Like, this is available to everybody. You need to know what your dream is. You need to make the plan, and then all you need to do is work out how much it's going to cost and make the money in your side hustle. It's simple, but you need to start somewhere. You need to know how much it is. You need to be motivated by it because it's simple, but it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to create a huge amount of money. If you need a huge amount of money for what it is you want to do, it's not easy to do it. I'm not here to say, oh, it was really easy for me. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And it just takes consistency and it takes effort, but you can do it. Everybody can do it. Everybody can absolutely create that dream for themselves, and all of you deserve it. So one is dream big. The second one is the Pandora secret. Like, can you link your side hustle somehow to a place, a memory, a time? You know, it's like, so I saw them all over the US, and you see them everywhere that you go on holiday, every seaside town. There's a stand of something that's pretty average, but it's got people's names on it. So you go, oh, look at those fridge magnets that have got like rocks on them. Let's see if there's one. Let's see if there's one that says Jared, because Jared's quite an unusual name. That's my son's name. It's quite an unusual name. Now, it's quite an unusual name here, but it's not an unusual name in America. So when we go and look at one of those things in America, we're like, oh, that says Jared. We'll need to buy it, even though it's rubbish. But it's just because his name's on it. So it's become that Pandora thing. It's become something that's so much more than if it was just a picture of rocks. It's a picture of rocks with Jared on it. There's no Finns over there. Finn isn't a big name in America. It's more likely we would get my other son's name in the UK. But it's about just, can you take your side hustle and give it that emotional connection? Like, how could you make that even more emotive than it is? The third one is about tipping and the law of reciprocity. So just, can you give your ideal customer something that'll make them want to come and buy from you, that'll make them want to kind of pay you back because you've been kind to them in the first place. This also works when you're building your Facebook groups. So when you go out there and you just give free advice, so you share your knowledge with people that who would be your ideal customers, they're much more likely to come and want to join your group and to buy your programs or to buy your products. The fourth one is the non-smoking casino. Can you be the non-smoking casino of your industry? Can you find that angle that nobody else has hit on, that thing that people are searching for, or sometimes people don't even think they know, don't even think they want? It didn't occur to me to search for a non-smoking casino when we were booking. Had I known they were all smoking, I probably would have been looking for that right back at the beginning when I was booking. So can you find that niche within a niche for your ideal customer where you can cater for those people? And can you also make it like something that's on trend? So there's a really clever ad on the telly at the moment, and it's clever in how it's filmed, but it's not clever in what it's for, because I can't even remember what it's for. So they haven't done that bit brilliantly. But it's a guy walking down the street and he's saying, and this is for these people and these people. And one of the groups says, these are for the wild swimmers. And he has, people in those kind of big kind of oversized towels and in wetsuits, whatever, walking down the street with them, and other people, and they're doing different things. Wild swimming is hugely popular at the moment. It's very on trend. If you can present your side hustle in a way that appeals to wild swimmers, for example, that's going to be so much more successful than just presenting it to people that like swimming. Like wild swimming is very much of the moment. Do you know what I mean? So it's about thinking about how can you super niche and how can you also link into something that's very fashionable, very of the moment. And then the last thing is call me Kat. So the last thing is take people on the journey with you, bring them behind the scenes, and stir that passion in them to find out. So if you're creating something, take them on the journey from the first stitch or the first video that you're recording for your course, whatever it is, take them on the journey with you. So by the time you get to the point where you're ready to sell it, people are queuing up. If that Call Me Kat, so I'll tell you one more quick story. Also filming in the next studio up from Call Me Kat was another new comedy series called Night Court. Now, Night Court was a comedy series that was out in America years ago, and this is a kind of remake of it. I had never heard of it before. I'm not sure if it's ever been in the UK. So it's about a night court where basically, so if people are naughty and they need to be charged overnight, then they're taken into this night court in America. I assume it's a thing. And it's just about like what happens in a night. So there's a judge and, people that have been, I don't know, whatever, people that have been doing something that's illegal. And so he's talking about this night court and he's like, and he said the filming for it is on Friday night. So you can come back on Friday night. The tickets are free. He said you probably be here for about 4 or 5 hours. It takes quite a long time to film. But you could see an actual film. Now, unfortunately, we were moving on to Anaheim on the Thursday, so it wasn't an option. But I'm thinking, it doesn't really sound like my kind of thing. I wouldn't really be that interested in it. But who's in it? And he goes, the star is Melissa Roche. And I'm like, all right. And Neil goes, do you know who that is? I'm like, no. And he went, do you know Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory? I'm like, oh, Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory. So she's the star from it. If we had stayed there until the Friday, we would have been there for the filming, definitely. So they've not even filmed the first series yet. You won't find it anywhere on telly. The minute that is released, I want to see it because I was in the place where Bernadette from The Big Bang Theory was filming Night Court. She was coming back later that day to film it. I was standing in the space where she was going to be. So it's that excitement about being behind the scenes and how that creates that emotional connection to the thing that you want to sell to the people. I didn't mean to be here for more than an hour, but I had to share it with you. I had to bring you on the journey because a lot of you are such a intrinsic part of why I've been able to have my dream holiday. And I really appreciate all of you for trusting me and for buying things from me and for being in the hive and yeah, just giving me this amazing opportunity. It has been fabulous. I actually don't know what my next big dream thing is going to be, but how lovely is it to be able to like sit and think about well, in fact, I know the next thing I'm going to spend my pot on, which is accommodation for my youngest son going to university. So that's a key one. It's not quite as exciting, but it's amazing to be able to do it. That will be my next dividend that I'm taking from my business. And then so that'll be in September. And then after that, another biggie is going on my vision board. Oh, thanks. How did they do the stairs in the studio on Big Bang? They only have one set, Angela, and they just keep going up the same one. They just keep going up and round, and then they change the filament and they go up and round. And they change, on the lift, they've got like the tape across like that on one floor and across like that. They just change the tape and they film them, and then they change the tape and they film them. So they just got one set of stairs. I know that. Karen, I put a reel of my craft messy table on Instagram and over 3,000 views, 89 likes, and 10 more followers and 2 sales. Karen, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well done for showing up, Karen. Well done. And yeah, exactly. People, if you go and buy something that someone has made, when you can see the love and attention that has gone into it, that just means so much more than just going and buying something from a gift shop that's already completed, because you don't get it. It looks like something that could have been made in a factory somewhere. But when you can see the process, when you bring people along with you, people want to buy that energy. Oh, thank you, everybody. Nikki, such great examples. I would never have really do my side hustle. Oh yeah. Please don't have it. Oh, thanks, Joey. What could possibly be bigger and better than that holiday? I don't think I need to. I honestly, so probably nothing, Tracy, for me. I mean, different people have different dreams, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take stock. I'm thinking I might be going back down the cruising route. That might be my way to go. But yeah, there will definitely be another holiday. We've actually got one provisionally planned in 2 years' time, where we're going away with our friends, because they're both turning 50 in 2 years, our considerably younger friends. And that's going to be the first time that we go away kind of as couples without the kids, but we'll need to do something next year as well. So yeah, it's such a lovely thing to think about it. And again, I'm just going to look for the universal signs to see what am I like, what is the next big thing, because I do always live holiday to holiday, like always. Is there still a Disney in Japan? There is. Do you know, and my son wants to go, like he really wants to go to Japan. I don't know. There's Shanghai, there's Hong Kong, and there's a third one, Shanghai, Hong Kong. Where the other one is. There is, Angela. I don't know. My son does want to go, so yeah, maybe. But yeah, actual Disneyland was just amazing. Like, and so compact. By the way, I've stopped my lessons now, so you can just go. If people are just bored with me talking about my holiday, you can just drop off. I take no offense to that whatsoever. But actual Disneyland is, so there's Disneyland and there's California Adventure, 2 parks. So if you've been to Disneyland Paris, it's quite similar to that, where the parks are right beside each other. So it's like the gates for one are here and the gates for the other are here. So very, very different to Florida, where, you know, you're going in a bus or, you know, transportation or the monorail or whatever from one park to the other. So quite easily manageable. The only thing is, and that's, the older I get, the more I struggle with this, the heat was, like in Vegas, it was 43 degrees at one point. When we did the hop on, hop off bus tour, we didn't actually hop off because we just kind of needed to drink water and have a rest. But my son, he had suntan lotion on, but he kind of had his arm on the edge of the bus. And even today, I was looking at it, and it's still like seriously mega sunburn just on this arm. Even with, we had like, it was factor 30 suntan lotion on. So I would love to do it when it's just a bit cooler, like in, I don't know, October, November, something like that. And now we don't have kids at school anymore. Like, and if the kids aren't going away with us, it just opens up a whole new world of opportunities to times of the year that I can go away. And I mean, like, I don't know if I feel a bit sort of, what's the word? I haven't really talked about this, and I haven't really talked about it just because I've been so obsessed with going to Disney. But in 3 weeks' time, I'm going to Sorrento. We've had this booked for, so this is my girls' holiday. This isn't with the family. This is with my neighbours. So there's 5 of us that go away. We go every second year, but we haven't been away since pre-pandemic, of course, like everyone. So we're going to Sorrento. And we've had it booked for ages, actually, because we booked it. Do you remember, Sheila, whenever you were there, we booked it then, and that was last year, wasn't it? Just trying to think when it was. I think it was it last year you were there? Yeah, I think it was. So yes, so I'm back to earth with a bump, with serious jet lag. I've got 3 weeks of work, and then I'm off for one more week where We are staying in this fabulous hotel right at the top of a cliff in Sorrento that looks like it's got incredible views, and we're going to do Capri and Positano on the Amalfi Coast. And so I will take. So when I'm saying I need to think about my next dream holiday, I'll maybe just enjoy that one first, and then when I get back in August, I will think about the next one. Think about what our focus is going to be. Oh, Karen, I missed you and the monkeys. Oh, why does Scruffy need meds, Emma? I didn't know Scruffy needed meds. October is a brilliant time in the States. Yeah, so we've done the October break, school break before to Florida. And the weather is definitely better, but it's still been so busy. But we won't have to do school holidays again. So yeah, I'd love to go to Sorrento. Yeah, me too. Oh, thanks, Claire. Yeah, I've been to Italy. The only time I've been to Italy is on a cruise that I did with the same girls. So we went on a cruise a few years ago now, and we stopped in Venice. It was when cruise ships were still allowed to dock in Venice. So the cruise went right along like Venice town. I don't know if that's the right expression. That was amazing. Like that was absolutely amazing. So we did Venice, and it was supposed to stop in Ravenna. That was the other Italian port, but there was some problem with I think it was the tides or whatever. So we did an extra stop. So that cruise was around Malta, Italy and Croatia. So we stopped in Dubrovnik and Split. And then we stopped in Zadar, I think was the last one instead of Ravenna. So the only place I've been to is Venice for one day. So yeah, excited to see Italy. Yeah, I would, if I could have talked them into it, Angela, I would have been cruising past it and stopping in it. But my neighbours at the moment, well, when we booked it, felt that with COVID, a cruise was a wee bit of a risk, that you might be stuck in your room, and that we normally just do like an inside cabin, so it probably would be quite brutal if you're stuck in your room for the whole cruise. I do sort of get it. I'm actually feeling now like I might be getting COVID again. It's a fair point, but we will do that again. Like I've said, okay, we won't cruise this year, but we will cruise again. And they're like, yeah. You still live in Venice, Claire? Wow. Oh, I can imagine the paintings that you did. Imagine. I love Venice and Split. They would have been quite easily accessible from Valletta, I'm guessing, for you. Yes, Karen, I'm just waffling now. You're totally welcome to go enjoy your dinner. Yeah, so I probably will stop talking now, but I hope that those lessons have been useful. For those of you in the Hive, we are changing our focus tomorrow. So we have got Kim Batten at lunchtime talking about gamification. Going to be particularly useful because I know some of you have been asking about engaging your Facebook groups and bringing people to your Facebook groups and building your audience. We're going to relate how gamification can help with that. So that one's going to be fun. And then tomorrow night, I am going to give you a quick preview of what I am going to be talking about. If anybody knows what this is, that will give you an idea of our mindset chat for tomorrow. So we're going to set our focus for the month. We're going to celebrate what we have achieved last month. And we are going to talk about this sign. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, I will explain to you tomorrow. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, everybody. Hive people, will see you tomorrow. If you're not in the Hive and you want to find out what it's all about and how much it costs, you're welcome to DM me in advance of tomorrow, and then you can join in the activities tomorrow as well if you like. It's £27 a month, just so you know. And yeah, so again, thank you all. Thank you for listening. I'm like that person that wants to show you their holiday. Do you remember they used to be like their holiday? What did you call them? You know, those were their slides. Were they called slides? No. You know, you used to like instead of pictures, you would have that like thing that you would put into the projector. What were they called? Anyway, I'm like that person that goes, I've got 700 of them. Shall I show you? You're like, just a quick overview might have been good. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, loads of love to you, Julie. Have a fantastic transparencies slideshow. Yes, slides. Yeah, perfect. Okay, well, I feel like I was that. Apologies. But it was just so amazing. There's so many other things that I could tell you about it, but I will tell you gradually instead of making you sit here for the rest of the night. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for bearing with me. Dream big, everybody. Dream big, everybody. And those of you in the hive, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Night, night, everybody. Bye.